It's 2026 and flight prices are not what they used to be. So I previously made a video on the cheapest Caribbean destinations from Trinidad and Tobago, and it has changed. Not the destinations per se, but the costs. So in this video, I'll be sharing the destinations, the costs, and the airlines that travel to these destinations. So if interested, then continue watching. Hey, welcome back to the Trini Travel. I'm Keisha, Trini, currently living in Milan. If you're interested in all things travel, especially from a Caribbean perspective, then go ahead and subscribe. But for today, let's talk about the cheapest destinations in the Caribbean from Trinidad and Tobago. Yo, the cheapest country this time around in 2026 is Barbados. And I feel like Caribbean entering the market has something to do with it. So now you can have a return flight to Barbados from Trinidad between $1,600 and the prices go up to about $2,000, and the average is about like 1,800 TT, or the prices are in TT dollars. And I did all the searches using SkyScanner. If you're interested, it's linked below. But of course, depending on the time frame that you choose, the prices will differ. But this is just a guide and an average. So when you're travel planning, you know what to expect. Another thing to take into consideration is that although the flights may be cheaper, maybe when you're there are other expenses that can make it more expensive. For example, the hotels might be more expensive, or it might be a destination where you may need to rent a car, so that would bring up the price. But in this video, we're just talking about flights. And to Barbados, you can fly with Caribbean and Caribbean Airlines. Now, in my last travel update video, I shared that Caribbean entered the market and the prices were cheaper than Caribbean Airlines, and their flight prices include a checked bag versus Caribbean Airlines where you need to pay extra to have a checked bag. So Caribbean for the win for now. Now, sometimes these are the prices that they start with, but then as they start to operate, I guess they share the real price. So I say take advantage of the cheaper prices for now. So yeah. Next, we have St. Vincent and Grenadines, and the round trip ranges between 1,800 TT to 2,500 TT. And I've seen some time frames where it was as high as 3,000. The airlines that fly, you have Caribbean Airlines, Caribbean, and Liat 2020. If you didn't know, Liat is operating again under the name Liat 2020, but it still has the same model of basically a bus, but maybe because of the location of St. Vincent, maybe that might be the first stop. The next, we have Grenada, and their prices were between 1,700 to 1,900, and I've seen some prices as high as 2,500, with Caribbean Airlines being the main airline that flies there. Then we have Antigua and Barbuda, and the prices range from about 2,000 to 2,800, and again, prices as high as 3,000 to 3,500, depending on the time frame that is chosen, and the airlines that fly, Caribbean Airlines and Liat 2020. Now, I saw some comments under the previous video asking about Guyana. The prices range between 2,100 to 2,600. The airline that flies is Caribbean Airlines, and I've seen Copa Airlines as well. The flight prices with Copa was more expensive, but that's also an option. And y'all, this is so crazy to me. My favorite location that was one of the cheapest, Barbados, is cheaper. Barbados is now cheaper than going to St. Lucia. So St. Lucia, the prices I saw range between 2,200 to 2,800, and the prices still go up from there. The airlines that fly, Caribbean Airlines as well as Caribbean. Now, I don't know if Caribbean will fly directly from Trinidad to St. Lucia. It would be a connection from another location. So maybe it may be Caribbean at first and then a connection with Caribbean. So I guess it just makes sense to go with Caribbean Airlines. But yes, y'all, okay, actually I included one more just because since St. Lucia prices are so high already, maybe you might just spend the extra to go somewhere different. So I also included St. Kitts and Nevis. Their prices range from 2,600 to 3,600. Y'all, those are the prices to visit the Caribbean in 2026. And okay, just for honorable mention, the cheapest Caribbean destination to visit from Trinidad is Tobago. Also, within the price range to visit the Caribbean, there's also the US, so the cheapest is Miami. But these are the prices to visit the cheapest Caribbean countries in 2026. So if you found the video to be helpful, don't forget to like, and safe travels until next time.